What's going on YouTube? Welcome to Wes's Angling. So a friend of mine said to me the other day, you should call your YouTube channel Harry's Angling because of because of how much you fish at Harry's. But guess where we are again today? Yeah, we're at Harry's. So I'll put the address in the description for everybody who doesn't know where Harry's is. It's in a little village called Adlington. So the reason that I fish at Harry's so much is, for one, it's only 25 minutes away from my house, which is just off the motorway, nice and easy to get to. There's some decent carp in here. It's always quiet, so it's great for filming, but the weather's going to be absolutely atrocious today. It's going to absolutely bucket it down at some point. So I'm going to fish method feeders, but on bite alarms, so I can sit under my day shelter, and we'll see if we can catch some fish for you. Carp got to 18 pounds in Harry's, which is some stonking fish in here. Never caught anything bigger than 12, so that's my aim for you. I want to see if I can catch something a little bit bigger for you today on the method feeders. I've never caught anything bigger than sort of 9 pound off the bottom. I've had a couple of bigger fish off the top, but look at it. Sun's just come out, gorgeous day. It's due thunderstorms later. So I'm going to get my shelter up and running and we'll get fishing. I've just got the old Pentalite brolly shelter set up. I'm just about to set my rod pod up now. Like I said, I'll be fishing the method feeders on bite alarms on my specimen rods, just so when the storm comes I can sit under here and I can leave my rods out in the rain, no problem. But weather's gorgeous at the minute. There's only one other fella who's literally just come at the same time as me. There's nobody else fishing it because nobody's that crazy, if they've looked at the weather forecast anyway. Oh, this is my favourite peg. What peg are we on for anybody that wants to come and fish here? Peg 12. It's right in the corner, right next to this tree. Peg's a bit broken here. It's all washed away around the embankment. Wind's blowing into me, which is awesome. Just what you want at Harry's, that. I think they follow the wind. Right, let me get my rods out. I'll get set up and we'll show you the method feeder setup. Right guys, we are ready to go. So I've got everything under my shelter, ready for when the heavens open. You won't believe it looking at the weather, it's so nice today. But this is the setup. I've got my 2 specimen rods, not carp rods these. Just 1 1/4 test curve specimen rods. I've got them set up on the bite alarms. Method feeders, I'm just using small size method feeders. And I've been tinkering with things, as if you follow the channel you'll know I like to experiment, but I've found that these size 10 quick change swivels fit perfectly into the bottom of these Preston Innovation method feeders. Now they've actually stopped doing the inserts for these, or the availability is poor or whatever, but these fit perfectly in, and obviously your hook link's not going to come out of there once it's in, so that I'll just slip my hook link over there through the loop, and then that pulls nicely. If I can do it on the camera, I don't think I'll be able to do it, but as you can see, that'll slot perfectly into there, just snug. It'll still come out if a fish bolts off, but it's nice and snug in there, and I don't think my hook link's going to come off. If I lose a hook link, obviously I won't use these again. But that's the setup. 6,000 Shimano reels with 10-pound line. It's quite snaggy close in at the edge, so I need a little bit of line strength if I get to get them out of there, or if they go for the reeds. I'll be fishing maybe, don't know, 20 foot out, something like that. I might have a rod down the margin as well, but the breeze is just coming into me. There's a couple of fellas setting up over there, so I'm not the only mental one out today. But the rain's coming in probably about 12 o'clock, and what are we on? It's 9:30 now. But I'm going to set you up in the camera here in the corner of the bivvy. Well, when I say bivvy, I mean day shelter. It's a Pentalite brolly shelter, Corum, but I'll just set you up here in the corner and you can enjoy the day's fishing. So let's put you on the stand, and you should still be able to see the rods once I've got them out. There we go. How cozy is that? So I'm going to make sure that you can see the rod pod there, but get all set up, and we're not going to get wet when the rains come. You can park right behind your pegging, Harry's. So I've taken everything out, obviously set my rods up and whatnot, and I've put everything else in the car. Ground bait's already mixed, so I had a session yesterday, so that's good to go. It probably needs just wetting down a touch. I just stuck it in the fridge last night, but I've got corn in there, I've got some 2 mils, I've got some 4 mil pellets, so I'll just wet it down a bit because it's not really sticking together. But you can always try corn on the hook as well, but probably going to be fishing size 12s. I'm going to try and target some of the bigger fish in here today. Size 12 hook and a 10 mil pink washed out waffler, I think we'll start with. Maybe that and one on the corn, we'll see. But we're ready to go. I'll put my hook links on. A little bit later I'll show you how I time up my hook links as well. So let's have a look, let's get a size 12 one out. This is the hook link we'll be using. If you can pick it up on the camera, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to. Well, I'm not sure what happened to the audio on this clip, but it completely messed up. So this is the hook link that we're using. We've got a band tied at the top there. You can see that I've tied it on with a figure of 8 loop knot so that the band can move freely around. I've got a tiny little bit of rig tubing just holding the hair to the shank of the hook. These are a size 12 feeder hook, and I've obviously tied this on with a knotless knot, but there's a nice wide gape in that feeder hook. And then at the other end I've got another figure of 8 loop knot. These are really easy to tie yourself, guys. Make sure it's a figure of 8 loop knot in both sides though, because this is the strongest knot for this kind of setup. Make sure you're wetting your knots down as well, but that's a perfect method feeder hook link. Right, so let's see how these work. So that's pulling nicely into the feeder, as you can see. I'm just going to put my quick change, put my hook link in the quick change swivel, and that's going to pop nicely when I put pit tension on it to the end. That ain't coming off, no matter what, that's not coming off. So let's pull that back into the feeder gently. See how easy that's going in? And that'll be nice and secure in there now. Ready to go. Let's put a wafter on. I'm going to try on the 10 mils. And they're going to balance nicely against that size 12 hook. We'll get some ground bait and pellet on that feeder. That'll sit nicely in there. We'll catch some fish, hopefully target some of the bigger ones. Okay, so let's put a bit of water in here. Oh, we need a tiny bit, it's pretty wetted down. Oh dear, might be a touch too much, but it'll soon dry up. Those pellets will soak up a lot of that water. Clean that feeder mould up a bit. Covered. There we go. That is ground bait ready. Can mix some more up in a bit if we want. It'll be plenty for now. Right, hook links on, vital arms on. Put a tiny bit of that in the feeder, and then we'll squeeze that in. Definitely a little bit wet, this ground bait, but doesn't matter. There we go, it's come out the mould nicely. Just going to squeeze a tiny bit round. That'll come off on the drop. Check one out round our tip. Bait runner drags nice and tight, that's what we want. So I'm going to fish a little underarm out. We'll start there, sink the line as usual. Nothing wrong with fishing method feeders like this. It's just a different form of bite indication rather than fishing the tip. Looking at that, my rod tips need to go down a touch, so I'm just going to lift these up. Unlock that, there we go, drop them a bit. Let's see if I can put the legs up a bit as well. There we go, so rod tips are nice and close to the water. I'm going to put our bobbins on, a bit of tension, put the bait runner on. That's that one good to go. Right guys, so I might be a little bit dark on the camera because we're under the Pentalite brolly, but you should be able to see the rods there, just about. Got the first rod out, I'm going to put the second rod out straight ahead of me. There's some bubbles coming up just out, which is brilliant. I'm going to get this other rod out, and we'll get some bloody fish caught. This other rod needs a hook link on. Nice big hook, shouldn't lose any fish. Oh, bit of a tweak then. Fish on. Is there a fish on there? Drop back. Might have been a bit of a drop back then. You keep an eye on the rods while I have a look for this bait bandit. There it is, there it is. That's what I was looking for. The old bait bander. A lot of you are saying that you know, I should probably be using a bait stop. I'm using corn, but the reason that I don't like using bait stops is because they're usually plastic, they're very hard, and I think the rubber bait bands just work better in. So if you can see this, that corn's not coming off there, it's banded on. It ain't coming off, no matter what, unless you get a take. Let's get this out. Gonna touch closer in with that one. And that's got the corn on it. Just had a bit of a tweak on that right on rod. First fish, boys. I've got a fish here that I need to unhook and get that back. That's one gone. Fish number 2 straight away. Hopefully we've got the film rolling. Double take. Oh, near enough. 2 nice commons. Nice soft rods, these Gray's Prodigy 1 1/4 test. And we haven't lost a hook link. Sailing around this one. Brilliant, it's coming in. So that one's on the corn, so it's 1-all. Wafter and corn. It's fighting a lot harder than that first one. Come on, you. That's enough. We're in the nets. Oops. Oh my god, I didn't even get a chance to show you that first one. Look, so the size 10 quick change swivels pulled out there on the take which is awesome. It means that on the take the fish isn't going to be dragging around a method feeder if the line breaks, so that works well. That's what I wanted to test out. But look at this, two nice little commons. Double take. Let's get it back. Well boys, so those rods are in about 2 minutes and we've had 2 fish already. So I was just about to grab the camera and show you that first fish and the other rod ripped off. I'm not sure why I didn't get any indications on that first fish. It was like bleep 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 and then it stopped and then it dropped back down, but there was definitely a fish on it, so I'm not sure what was going on there. And then when I lifted into it, it was all the way over here next to this tree. Don't know, odd. But let's get the rods back out, let's get some more. I'm going to keep one on corn and one on wafter. There's our method feeder over in a tree there. Got me the line as well. See, corn stayed on using the band. Hook looks okay. Ground bait's drying out a touch, which is good. I won't squeeze it in as hard. Get that one out that way. A bit tighter to the feeder this time, I think. Bait runner on. Same's happened there, look. So on the take, the quick change swivels come out the method feeder, which is exactly what I want. Much safer than using those elasticated stems that I use. Well, guys and girls, we're not far off 1,000 subscribers. I can see it is definitely within reach, and I hope you're picking up a few tips from the video. If you've got a friend that hasn't subscribed and they are into fishing, please just let them know. And a bit of a bleep on that right hand rod then. I'd really appreciate it. I will be doing a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. I'll pick somebody at random from the comments, so make sure that you commented. And thanks to everybody that's already subscribed. I'm actually boiling. I've put my waterproofs on. I mean, I'll be glad I put my waterproofs on later, I think, but right now I am sweating. So it's 10:05. If we're going off the weather forecast, we should have a good couple of hours before it steams it down. Blue skies at the minute. The fish are obviously on it with 2 bites in 2 minutes. Won't get a bite straight away now because the ground bait's so wet. It'll all be clumped together around the hook bait, so it'll take them a while to get to it. But I'm really impressed on how those. So all I'm using in the bottom of those Preston Innovation method feeders is a size 10 quick change swivel. So obviously it's swivel on one end and then a quick change hook on the other, and that's secure enough, it looks like, to keep the hook link on. And they're a lot cheaper than buying the method feeder inserts that you can get. I think it's about £5 for 5, you know, method feeder inserts, which is absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that they've not produced enough of them. You can't get hold of them. But I think it's about 25 for £3 of those size 10 quick change swivels. So massive difference, and they'll last a lot longer. We'll go back on the GoPro, guys, because I've only got limited space on the big camera's memory card. Oh, let's have a brewski, shall we? Not sure what time I'll stay till today. I'll either be leaving before the traffic gets bad at 5 o'clock or after. We'll see what the fishing's like, and we'll see if we manage to get anything bigger. A quick nosy at the weather forecast here. So, rain's moved off until 2 o'clock-ish. Thunderstorms at 5. So peaceful here. Nothing better than this, guys. Just chilling out. I've got a coffee, waiting on a bite. I'd much rather be catching and getting bites all day long than sitting somewhere, you know, specimen fishing for carp. Although I was at a fishery yesterday, which obviously you'll probably see the upload for before now. A at Stoats Hall, and they had a specimen lake, and apparently there's sturgeon in there. Now sturgeon's one of my favourite fish, and it's very, very difficult to find fisheries that have sturgeon in them. For one, you need a special licence, and the other thing is you can't be within a certain amount of distance from a river apparently when you've stocked sturgeon. So I really want to go back and fish that. Apparently there's only a couple in, but I definitely need to go back there and do a bit of specimen fishing on that lake. It's not a massive lake, there's only 5 pegs on it I think, so we might go next week and do that, which would be cool. You can fish it on a day ticket, so we'll go, we'll fish fairly light and see if we can get one. Just had a bleep on the left hand rod there, could have been a liner. Be nice to get one of the barbel that are in here as well. It's actually a really big water this. I'd like to fish it in winter. I've never fished it in winter, but there's a deep pool in the middle of it and I think it'd be really good. I think the fish will still be quite active through the winter, so it might be a good place to come and get a couple of bites in the colder months. It's gone a bit quiet after them first 2 fish. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe not. Started to cloud over. That was the right hand rod, that was a different one. Maybe this fish moved in, but the wind has picked up as well, so that might have brought him on the feed. I thought it was going to be a full-on day this morning. I've got a feeling that the bigger fish are closer to this corner, but who knows. I'll probably try another peg the next time I come. I might try the opposite end. Got to try out loads of different pegs in different lakes, guys. Don't just stick to the same one because you might be missing out on it. You know, there could be a spot that's holding the bigger fish. You don't know. Always good to try different areas of the lake. It's a bit of a tweak on my rod tip then. Fish definitely stick to the same sort of area. If you've not watched it already, there's a couple of videos on my channel where I fished at Harry's and I've caught the same fish twice in this same peg. So I'll put a link to that video in the top right hand corner. And you can have a look at that. Amazing. Couldn't believe it. It was definitely the same fish, same scarring and everything. I do like fishing like this with the method feeders on the bite alarms. I know it's a lazier way of fishing than using the tip, but I just thought, you know, with it potentially going to absolutely hammer it down, I'd better under a shelter like this than under a brolly. And obviously I can leave the rods over there, let them get wet, and I'm dry under here. So, but it seems like the storm's moving round, and it's not passing over here until 4 or 5 o'clock, and I might be packed up by then, depending on how the fishing is, because it don't look great at the minute. Oh, wind's changed again, guys. Blowing into this corner now. Be interesting to see if I get a bite in the next 10-15 minutes now the wind's moved round. Look at this. Now you tell me, was that coincidence? The wind changed and I got a bite? I'm not sure. Worked again, so the method feeder's sliding up and down the line there. So the size 8 quick change swivel's done its job. It's not stuck in the feeder, but it's obviously give enough traction inside the feeder for the fish to self-hook itself. Awesome, let's get it back. It's only a small one. Little mirror carp. Amateur salt now. Corn stayed on after that fish. So all we need to do now is pull that quick change swivel, bit too far in, back into the bottom of the feeder. So that's done. And we'll load her back up. There we go. That is one method feeder locked and loaded and ready to go in the margin. Well, boys, the corn's winning over the wafter at the minute. I can see some bubbles coming out just out from this tree here. Probably about 12 foot out, not far out at all. So I'm going to reel this right hand rod in and flick it back out, because that rod's gone quiet. I've had another run on the left hand margin rod, but it must have snagged me up in the reeds or on the debris, because I just had a branch on when I reeled in. Here's a big waft of this, guys, so it's either going to be a decent carp or a very bloody hungry carp to take it. Yeah, it's perfect, that ground bait now. Awesome. Thought it was around my tip then. There we go, a bit closer in. Sink my line. And we're fishing. Let's drop this in the margin down here. You have to excuse me, folks, I'm still not too good if I'm sniffling. There we go, just off that end reed. A lot of debris blowing into this side. I hope we don't get snagged up on anything. Bait runner's on. Bait runner drag up. Bit more. Bit less. No. I do recommend Harry's. It's only £5 for 2 rods. So if you can get down here, definitely come for a few hours. Great fishing. Mostly carp, some barbel, not many bream. I think in a few years this will be an absolutely superb carp water. Some speckles of rain coming down now. I think I've just had a little bit of a drop back on that right hand rod. I've got one rod in the margin, and I've got one probably 20-30 foot out, just to try it a little bit further out. There we go. That was a tweak. I don't think it's hooked itself though. I don't think it's hooked itself. It's like the fellas on the other side are catching as well. I don't think it's full on today. We've only had a couple, like I have. So one bad thing about Harry's is all the, because it's next to a quarry, so the noise from the quarry traffic coming. Oh, there we go, rain started. Can you hear that? Hardly a thunderstorm though. Let's put you back on me a second. Still some tweaks on that right hand rod. Like I said, that one's a bit further out, so that's where they might be. Who knows? But as soon as we find them and we're on them, we'll keep casting to that spot. But don't be scared of moving your feeders about. Try the margins, especially coming into autumn like this. Don't discount the margins. Try the margins. I've had a couple of fish out of there. Try further out. Try on the pole line, maybe 13 foot out. As soon as you find the fish, keep casting to that spot. If it goes quiet, try somewhere else. Obviously you're limited to your swim. Don't be casting into anybody else's swim, but you can move it about. There's no problem with that. I am a bit of a weirdo. I love fishing in the rain. Only a short shower, I think, this one. But it's a sign of things to come. we got, we're in. We're in. Well guys, fishing's really tough today, especially for Harry's. If you're following my videos, you know that Harry's is a pretty good place to come and be pretty certain of catching. We've caught a couple, but nothing decent. So what I think we're going to do is go full sink and destroy and try out a couple of these method feeder carp rigs that I've made. So let's show you them. So as you can see, I've got a big size 8 straight point wide gape hook, which is balanced perfectly against one of these wafters. So they're just sticky wafters, pineapple. I've mixed a few different flavours in there, that's why they're all different colours. But that's the rig with no wafter on it. You've got your bait screw at the top, and I've just tied it on with a D-rig. And at the bottom I've just put a little tiny kicker on there just to help kick the hook. And then normal 4-inch method feeder hook link. I've used a nice supple braid, coated braid, so the bottom bit's coated, and then I've uncoated this top bit just to give it a little bit more flexibility on the method feeder. But we're going full sink and destroy. I'm going to try one on the pineapple. I'm going to try one on the krill. Both wafters. Still going to use the same ground bait and all the rest of it. But hopefully this bags us something a little bit bigger, and it might just tempt some of the more wary carp into taking them with the bigger wafters. Might just be that little bit more visual. So this is what I like about Harry's, is you can try out all different types of techniques. They're not strict with the rules. To be honest with you, most of the time they don't even come around and take the money. But it's only a £5 if they do. But look at that. So that looks perfect. That'll sit nicely up on the method feeder. You probably can't see it, but we've got both our hook links and wafters on. I'm just going to put them on the method feeders on the quick change swivels. That's the setup. So just a generic rod pod. Shimano 6000 DL reels. I like the rear drag reels, but most of the smaller ones are front drag. Sonic SKX bite alarms. I know you guys want to know what tackle I'm using and stuff, so there you go. Good old Corum bait mixing bucket. Stanley flask. So I'll put a list in the description of all the stuff and tackle that I use, just so you can have a nosy, or if they don't make it anymore I'll put a link to something similar down there. As you know, I like experimenting and mixing it up. I'm not going to get rid of those hook links because I'll probably swap back onto them later if these carp rigs don't work. So we'll put pineapple on this one. There we go, that's fit perfectly in the quick change. Pull it back in. Awesome. Nice flexibility on there because of the uncoated bit of the braid, and then the coated bit will work as a bit of a boom section and just kick that away from the hook, and they're balanced perfectly against those bigger hooks. So let's see if they sit on top of the method feeder okay. Only 30 gram method feeder these, so hopefully they've got enough weight just to set that hook. I'm sure they will. So let's make sure that they're covered. Oh god, those hooks are sharp. Oh my god, twice I've stabbed myself there. Idiot. There we go. Cover that up, squeeze it in gently. This probably ain't going to work. Oh yeah, there we go, perfect. So that's going to sit nicely, and as soon as that hits the bottom that's going to explode, revealing that big wafter. Irresistible. So let's look at this here, look at all these bubbles coming up right in the margin. Should we do it? Should we drop it right here? Yeah, let's do it. Always really close in like that where they feel safe. That's That's the krill on. Method feeder's up here now. Just going to pull that back in gently. There we go. Did it without stabbing myself that time. Boom. Some of the wafters showing. I'm just going to cover it up. Let's see if this tempts a fish. It'd be interesting. Don't think the bigger hook links away after switching it up. I've just had a bit of a liner on this one and a bit of a liner on the right hand one. They must be feeding on the ground bait. Whether the carp are too small to actually take the wafters or not, I'm not sure. Might be smaller fish. A lot of gudgeon in here actually. I do like gudgeon, but obviously it'd be some sort of gudgeon if it takes that 12mm wafter. Well, after mixing it up and changing those wafters, I'm getting a lot more indications on the bite alarms. Just a matter of time, I think, until one of them goes off. The wind's picking up, as you can probably tell. It's blowing right into this corner now. Nice and strong, these Pentalite shelters, actually. I recommend them. I use a lot of coarse products and they all seem to be really good quality. Like I said, my my bait ball and riddle set, that's coarse. It's got the coarse EVA riddle and ground bait set, something like that. Like I said, this Pentalite brolly shelter. The feeder hooks I use are coarse, so always seems to be good quality. This is running. I don't even know if I'm filming. I might have to try and get this camera off just to see if I'm filming. So, this is on the krill. Am I filming? Am I filming? Yeah, I'm filming. Oh, I might lose it here. Lose so many fish checking if I'm filming. No, we're good. Oh, let's see if I can land it on this side. Better stamp a fish as well. It just shows you bigger hook bait sometimes means bigger fish. They do like those krill wafters. Here we go, he's coming in. Oh, well, he was in then. God, they fight hard here at Harry's. I think it's because it's a big water. Probably used to moving around a lot. There we go. Really bonny fish. Got a big natural line of scales down him. But there you go, snag right in the side of the mouth. Barbless hooks, obviously. And there it is. The krill wafter. And again, the old quick change swivel's done its job. And it's come out of the method feeder. A lot safer than the elastic. I might just stop using them elasticated stems now I know it works. And we've not lost the hook link on it. There we go. Nice mirror. Let's get it back. Look at this setting, guys. Awesome. Actually, it's such a lovely day. It's so warm. I've got my bib and brace on and my wellies. Thought it was going to be hoofing it down. Better. Won't be down a heat stroke now. Ducks in my swim. The other thing that ruins Harry's a little bit is these metal containers that are everywhere. There's two. We've got big pumps up here and then we've got that metal container. Just ruins the whole setting a little bit. A lot of you guys have been asking me how you actually get to Harry's. Like I said, it is in the middle of Adlington, which is near Chorley, and you actually access the gate, which you can access from dawn till dusk. via Castle House Lane. So you go right to the bottom of Castle House Lane in Adlington. And then the gate is all the way at the bottom of the lane and it's on your right. You can't miss it. It's got a sign on the gate that says matches on Saturdays. I think they have matches. That was the margin rod on the left. So once you go through the gate, you carry on down the dirt track and the road just bends around. I might have a fish on there, boys. Be a small one though, because it's not running. I'll leave it a minute. If it keeps bleeping, I'll lift into it. Yeah, so the road bends around. It's a real dirt gravel track. The road probably needs redoing, to be honest. And then you'll see the lake. It's on your left hand side as you're driving round. But dawn till dusk, £5 for a day ticket. I really highly rate Harry's as a fishery. There's not, if you're coming here for mixed fishing, there's not that much choice of fish in here. Like I said, there's gudgeon, very, very odd bream, but I think they've tried to take most of them out. Barbel and carp. Carp apparently go to £18. But without catching one myself and weighing it, you know what it's like, I don't necessarily believe it. So we've caught 12-pounders out of here on the top. Now, it's not a stretch of the imagination that they can get bigger. You know what I mean? So, they're certainly into low doubles. Maybe higher. That's why I'm using the bigger baits. Just to see if I can target some of the bigger fish. I think the best time to be fishing Harry's is early morning or late on in the afternoon. You know, sort of 2-3 o'clock onwards. I think they really switch on at tea time. But I can only get a day session in today, so we're going to do what we can. And then I'm going to get home and do some editing for you all. Should be a couple of videos out next week. Starting my new fishery reviews playlist. So I'll be going to a different fishery every week. Keep mixing it up. I'll be fishing the method feeder mostly. And I'll give you a rating. But for Harry's, if I had to give it a rating, you know I fish it a lot, so there's no point in me doing a fishery review on it. We can treat this as a little bit of a fishery review. But I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Well, these have been in long enough. I'm going to try this one a little bit further out. It is really warm and bright today, so there's a chance that the fish could be up in the water. Might be worth trying zig rigs here actually at some point. I'm just not confident on them. Never ever caught on a zig rig, but I know that they are really, really effective. Maybe I've just not got the setup, you know, dialed down to a T, but I'll have to try them at some point here. Under my other line, this one. It feels heavy. Don't go for them reeds. Was further out, this one. Feels like a decent fish. It's taking line, it's hugging bottom. Really is hugging bottom. A bit like a barbel actually. We'll soon find out. Look at it, it's just doing circles. I'm putting a fair amount of pressure on it. Like I said, this rod's 1.25 test curve. Very barbel-esque fight. Just holding bottom and cruising. Try and put a little bit of pressure on it. No. Feels like a heavy fish. You can never tell though. especially here at Harry's. They all fight really hard, even the small ones. Just hugging bottom and cruising round in circles. That's why it makes me think it's a barbel. But let's put some upward pressure on it. See if I can get it up off the bottom. Nope. Oh, I'm not sure what this is. Dragonfly. Got a big swirl. I don't know if it's a big fish or not. It's absolutely tiny. It's tiny, but it is steaming round on the bottom. And I'm putting pressure on it. I can't get it up. Here, let's look at it. On the pineapple. Oh, it's pulled out. At least we saw it. Can't believe it pulled out then. Well, at least you saw it. I was putting a lot of pressure on it, to be fair, so. I couldn't believe how hard it was fighting for the size of the fish. Oh dear. There's a point bent. Point's bent out of touch as well. Very powerful little fish. And he won as well, he got away. Alright. Well, at least it spurred me on to try for another. So we'll go for the middle again. It was a little bit further out, that one. Let's go there. So I need to make a decision whether I stay past 5 o'clock or I pack up about 3 o'clock and miss the traffic. I've got another hour, so I think if we don't have much in the next hour, I'll probably pack up. Just been really slow today, that's all. Sometimes you've just got to call it and save some time. Obviously, with me living in Manchester, the M60 and 61, it's a bit of a nightmare. So I've either got to set off at 3 o'clock or I've got to set off after the traffic about 6 o'clock if I want to miss it. There's a few indications. I'm getting tweaks on the bobbins. There's some bubbles coming up and things like that. Some close in, some a bit further out, but they're few and far between. So they are feeding, but whether it's smaller fish, I'm not sure. I'll leave these out 10 or 15 minutes and then I'll start working my way in with them. I'll bring them a few rod lengths closer, just so we can potentially pick up another couple of fish before we pack on. Well guys, I'm probably going to call it a day there. Nobody's done really well on the lake. I've just been watching and I've been overhearing a couple of the old boys that are fishing across from me, and they've not really had much either. I think they're fishing on maggot. There's somebody fishing on pole as well. Said they had a couple of gudgeon down the side, and I think one fella's had an 8-pound carp, I think I overheard him say. But other than that, nobody's doing much. But it is quite warm and that can put the fish off sometimes. It's been nothing like what I thought it was going to be today. I thought it was going to be stormy and overcast, and it turns out it's been a really bright sunny day. We're in, boys. Last fish. Well, that was a little common. Right guys, so as I was saying, it's not been anything like what I thought it was going to be today. The weather front's just coming in now, and I think the thunderstorm's due in about an hour or so. But I did think we were going to have a better day, so I'm going to get packed up and have a brew first. But I'll see you in another Westies Angling. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.